Hey guys, welcome back to AlgoYogi. We are doing array and hashing series, and our next problem in the list is Pascal's triangle, second problem. If you haven't done the first Pascal's triangle problem, this problem exactly like that. It's just very minor difference in what you return. So let's go over this problem. Given an integer row index, return the row indexed, which is 0 index, row of the Pascal's triangle. In Pascal's triangle, each number is the sum of the two numbers directly above. It's as shown. So it's very hard to visualize if you don't see the picture. But once you see this animation right here, it becomes super clear what you have to do. So this is Pascal's triangle. Start with one number on the first row, then two numbers on the second row. But first number is going to be just 1. Then here it's going to be 1 and 1 again. But then in the third row, the first and last number in each row will be same. It's going to be 1, but then all the numbers in middle will be sum of two numbers that combined together from the previous row directly above it. So I guess you understand it. So let's change our view and understand what we are going to do. So first, in order to return this third row, what is the third row right here? This is the 0th row. This is first row, this is second row, and this is third row. This is third row. They've already said it's a 0th indexed triangle. So now when they have given row index 3, we have to return this array. So 1, 3, 3, and 1. So in order to return that, first we will create this 2D array, and then we will return the last index array. So we'll only create, in this example there are 4 rows, but we will be creating only whatever row index has been given to us. So what will happen is we will start. So this is how we can do it. This is how we can create the Pascal's triangle. What we're going to do is first we'll have let's say Pascal's triangle. This is going to be a 2D array. So first it's going to start with just one value, which is going to be an index itself. So it's list of list, and then there is only one value in the first. So this is what I'm placing right here. This right here. This is what I'm starting with. Okay, this is what I'm starting with. So what I'll do is now I will go into loop. All right. So what I'll do is for I in range. So I already have the 0th row. I need to create three more because the index is starting with 0. So I'll just simply say in the range row index. So this will go from 0 to 2. Then here what I want to do is I want to get the previous row. Prev row would be basically I'll get from the P triangle with the last index. So it will, for the first time when I'm trying to create this row, I will get one row from the back, and then this new row that I'm going to create, next row I'll call it. What I'll do is I will take the previous row, increment its length by 1, and place 1 in all the places right now, so that my first and last values are 1. At least they are 1, but then I will modify the values in between. So I'll show you how you do it. And this is going to be len prev row. So p prev row and plus 1. Okay, remember this is plus 1 because as you go down, each row increases by 1. The length of each row increases by 1. Now we'll have our for loop. So for j, we can say j in range. I'm going to start with 1 here, and then I'm going to go up to length next row. I'm just going to write in short plus 1. Sorry, minus 1, because I don't want to go to the last index, because that I want to keep that index 1. So this is what I'm talking about. So first what I've done here is, what I'm doing here is, let's say I was trying to create this row. So first I take this row and its length, then I create another row with 1, 1, and 1, Now this one and this one, I want to leave them just like that because they will remain 1. But then I will start my index at 1, so this is the first index, and then go up to the last index -1. So this index -1. So only this value I will be modifying. And what I will be doing with this value, this is what I will be doing. So in my next row, I hope you can see, next row at the jth index, which I'm starting at 1, this will be the value of previous rows 2 values sum. So if this is j, it's previous, I will get from previous row. So it's j and j -1. So it's going to be prev row j plus prev row j -1. So these 2 last values, this one, and this one, I'm getting them and I'm combining them here. So this right here, this will become 2 now, and I will place this right here. That's exactly how you see it. All right. And then in the end, what we'll do is we will return, once you are done processing row index number of rows, then you will return the last, this index value. So third index, which will be this right here. So you'll say in your P triangle, Pascal's triangle, you will return this row index. That's it. And the time complexity for this solution would be big of n², where n is the number of row index. That's because you, for each row, you actually go in and process all the values in the row. All right. So these numbers you are going to basically modify. So you can call it like maybe n into k, because if kth row is basically the longest row, because for each of them you are creating that. So, and for space complexity is also going to be big of n². That's because we are filling, this triangle right here, P triangle 2D array. All right, let's switch our view and code up our solution. Let me zoom in. Okay, we can see it. So first we'll start with creating P triangle, Pascal's triangle, triangle. So that would be starting with the first one. So that's the 0th index. Then we will be going into for I in range, rowIndex. Now I want to get my prev row, so that like we are clear. The first one is the 0th. When they ask us to return the third, I will be returning the third row, which is this one, but I'm actually returning the 4th one, okay? Because the indexes are starting with 0th. So I'll say previous row would be, I'll get it from the P triangle. So I'll get from here, last row, and then I want to create my next row. Next row would be one length longer than my prev row. All right. So let me add one to it. That's it. Now I want to modify this next row. So for j in range, starting from 1, and then length of next row -1. I don't want to go to the last index. All right. So here my next row's jth index, jth value would be from the prev row jth value, that is like right above it, but there is one more right. This is what I'm trying to say. Let me show you. So here, if you see, so this is what I'm talking about. If I'm calculating this too, so this is at first index, right? So in the first row, first index is this. So, and that's why I will have j, but then j -1. So 2 values combining into this. All right, clear. Then prev row j -1. All right, I think it's really clear now. Now I have my P triangle, so I will return P triangle -1, the last row I'm basically returning. All right, so now let's zoom out and test our code. So I'll just run it. Oh, okay. Oh yes, of course. We have to append this to our pre-triangle. So once you are done creating this next row, you will add it. So append this next row you have created to your P triangle. All right. So now I think everything should be good. Easy mistake. Happens all the time. All right. So this is awesome. Now let's write down the time complexity. Time complexity is going to be big of n square, and then space complexity is going to be big of n square as well, where n is the number of row index. All right. So this is done. This is the entire code. Let's go back to AlgoYogi, mark this solved. See you guys later in the next problem. Bye-bye.